Hola, buenos días, soy Nico. And today we're here to finish off another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes. Today we're going to be discussing two content creators that I've discussed prior once both before. But before we get into this, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams, and be a part of the podcast that happens every Thursday at 5:37 p.m. CDT, where we discuss multifaceted conversations with a varied panel. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. Now, before we get started, here's a brief recap of the Patreon exclusive. Basically, Arquez DM'd me assuming that I was talking about him and I believe his ex-boyfriend, I don't know if they're still together, DZ's relationship woes on social media, where they were like at each other for money, as me wanting to smash him. That was an interesting DM. I never checked my requested DMs, and I was kind of gagged when I checked it because I'm like, you can't be serious. But if you want the full story on that, go to Patreon, because that one actually caught me off guard. I'm like, I'm not like an Atlanta performer where I'll beef with you and then we secretly smashing. That's not really my energy. But yeah, on to last video's comment. Basically, someone said it's actually very believable that Stefon Diggs might have done this to Chris Blake Griffith for the sole fact that he is a 10 out of 15 top NFL player or whatever, and him being bisexual in a very homophobic industry would be bad for business. So he might have had an incentive to silence him if that story is true. But I completely agree with that comment, and now let's get on to the actual video. Okay, girl, I have to balance all these new additions to the video, so I'm like, Basically, we're going to be talking about Keptsecret and BiigDSlangerr. I'm just gonna call him Jay. So this story recently broke, and before we tackle this story, I will give you a brief synopsis on the videos I've done on each of them. So Jay went viral a couple of months ago because he got into an argument with his adoptive parents about him doing super happy adult fun time on camera, adult cinematography. And his stepmother was calling him dirty and how he isn't worthy and basically just talking down on him like a dog. Meanwhile, she actively had to go through all of his social medias to get evidence, so she watched all of his tapes and content. Now, after that happened, I made a video where I was completely on his side. I'm like, I'm so sorry she's treating you like this. I hope things go well for you. I genuinely wish the best for you. And then someone sent me his tweets where he was subtweeting me saying, I can't believe you would lie like this, and I can't believe you didn't give me an interview. And I'm like, I repeated what you said in the video verbatim. What are you talking about? Whenever this happens, I always put like what the person said. I put the screenshot. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Why would I need to give you an interview for something you fully explained? So something says something about him isn't right, because he was also in my DMs praising me. So I'm just like, it conflicted my mind, because I'm like, I'm sitting here supporting you, but okay, girl, move. That's where I know him from. And from the comments and the tweets he's been putting out about Keptsecret, a lot of people say that it's always something going on with him. Like, it's always something that he's talking about, somebody doing him wrong. So I wanted to preface that portion with him. Now with Keptsecret, he has been in the industry for a long ass time. I've seen some of his videos. Some of them are hot. Some of them, they do push the limitations of what rough, super happy adult fun time should be. He recently, about a year ago, maybe a couple of months ago, got into it with a trans performer when the trans performer came out and said that he was harmed while filming with him. And if you do not know Keptsecret's content, think about Yardie Style. They're very similar in their aggression levels, but when it comes to that particular situation, I did a video on it. I basically said that Keptsecret might have harmed him for the sole fact that he has a very above average piece of filming equipment, if you know what I mean. Because when you compare the scene that the trans performer said that he was hurt in, it was actually far more gentle and intimate than what Keptsecret tends to do. So in that portion, I said it might have happened for the sole fact that I can't tell somebody if they were hurt. Like I can't tell somebody how their body feels, but I didn't personally think it was on purpose. In this particular situation, Jay is claiming that Keptsecret and his cameraman, King F, I believe that's what Keptsecret referred to him as, harmed him. He produced a 7-minute video of nothing. Nico, what do you mean? He produced a 7-minute video of him talking about how he was delayed at the airport. So I watched through that, and people were commenting, well, where's the second video? What's actually going on? You're not giving us any proof. So he began to make a stream of text. So I'll basically break down what he said in the screenshots, and we can take it from there. Essentially, he said he met up with Keptsecret in August to film a scene originally. But Keptsecret in the DM said, I'm sorry that I was not able to do a proper ending to the scene. I had filmed earlier in the day and my body just couldn't do it. Can I fly you out to finish this scene? You know, it's just going to be 30 to 40 minutes, and then it's going to be boom, bam, you're done. You get to sleep. You'll be on a plane in the morning. Jay then said, sure, we can do the scene, but can you raise the price from $175 to $200 because I got to call out from work? And Keptsecret said, sure, you know, I just found a plane ticket for you. That's only $38. I can bump it up to $200 if you want. Then he said, oh, actually, since I had to call out from work, could you bump it up to $350? And Keptsecret said, I can do $250, but we're not even flying you out for a full scene again. We're literally just finishing the shot. It's a one day, one thing. If I give you $350, it would not be worth the investment of me flying you out, getting you a hotel room, paying for the Uber back, and flying you back home. Hi, editing Nico here. Basically, it wouldn't be worth the investment because he was already paid for the original film back in August that just didn't get finished. So he was getting paid a second time to come back and finish the film. And he said, fine, that's okay. Meanwhile, when he was making the tweet, he tried to throw shade saying he acted like he ain't had no funds, like he ain't had no money. So he only said he was going to pay me $250. And the conversation about getting more money consistently comes up in this dialogue. So from there, he gets to the airport, but he has multiple delays before he can fly to Atlanta. So he's sitting there delayed. And eventually when he does get to Atlanta, Keptsecret said, hey, I'm at a birthday dinner. I can't actually make it to pick you up from the airport myself. Can I just send an Uber, get you there, we'll film, you'll be able to go back in the morning. And Jay said, well, I'm kind of tired from sitting at the airport. Is there any way that you could just pay an extra night at the hotel room, book me a new flight and let me rest and then we film tomorrow? And Keptsecret said, no, your flight was delayed, but it wouldn't be financially responsible to book you a new flight, pay an extended day at the hotel, and then film then. How about you just go to the hotel, take a nap because you got there at 6:30. We're not filming till 11. Take a nap and then we'll keep it going. And Jay said, cool. So notice how in none of these conversations, the conversation of came up. But suddenly, halfway through his explanation, Jay said that Keptsecret was so hopped up on the ski slopes that he couldn't properly film the first time, and that's why he had to came back. Meanwhile, in the DMs, he was the one asking Keptsecret for the devil's lettuce. Nico, I'm a pothead. I don't judge, but it's the fact that you're trying to say he's on the ski slopes, but you literally texted the man, hey, you got any devil's lettuce? And he said, oh, I'm sorry, I don't do that. The cameraman might have some, so I'll ask him, but I personally cannot help you. So from there, he said he got to the hotel, that him and the cameraman went downstairs to partake in the devil's lettuce, and then they went back upstairs to finish filming. Now, there is where a lot of open room is in this story, because the story was accurately documented by the screenshots he set up, but he said that in that room, something went wrong in that he was attacked. He said that he was intimidated by the two tall men in front of him, and that he has a handprint on his neck, but not on the other side of his neck. So maybe it was grabbed with one hand, and that he was beat with a camera stick, but he does not have any videos or pictures of the bruises from the camera stick. And he then followed up by saying, I was not paid the full amount, because he showed the screenshot where Keptsecret said, you wasted my money. And he only sent him 175 instead of 250. So at this point, he's saying that he was attacked and mistreated, and that something always is going on with him because he's the only person he got and he needs money to survive. And I don't know. I don't know about this particular situation, in particular for the sole fact that the conversation leading up to this was, I need more money, I need more money, I need more money. And he's like, I already paid you the full amount the first time, and I'm giving you additional just to come here for like 20 minutes so we can finish, and then you'll be back home. So now that he didn't get the full amount of money, he's online blasting him, saying that he's on the ski slopes when that wasn't a part of the conversation beforehand. And he's saying that he was, roughed up. So in this particular situation, seeing as how there's not a lot of evidence, because he's around my complexion, if I grab my arm right now, it'll leave like a hand outline. So in Keptsecret's videos, he is rather aggressive. Normally I would be like with the last situation with Keptsecret, maybe it was accidental, but he's saying he was grabbed and beat with a camera stick, but there's no bruises or proof of that. And he didn't really finish the story. He basically just rambled for 7 minutes about being stuck at an airport, and then kind of just said, God is going to get me. God is going to get you. And the reason he blocked me is because God will handle anything I put. First and foremost, I hate it when people use God's name in vain. I'm not even like that religious anymore, but I'm like, everything isn't directly correlated with your personal actions to God. Sometimes you did something. But in this particular situation, I would block you too if you're trying to like besmirch my name. I also wanted to add in that a lot of people are online saying, oh my God, you didn't file a police report, but you're complaining to us. That one I actually understand, for this whole fact that police don't really do shit. Most cases, especially about violence towards you in that manner, doesn't really get taken care of. It's kind of brushed under the rug because they just don't do shit. Sorry, they're just here to police us. But yeah, that's why I'm like, in this particular situation, I understand coming online to air out your grievances for the sole fact that you can prevent it from happening to someone else. So I definitely say wait until more evidence comes out, because usually when I give a definitive answer, it's when people have concrete evidence. This story is kind of all over the place. I don't know if it's just because he isn't able to properly articulate himself, but he's also writing like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. So I would assume that it would be easily detailed. But once again, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all, because this one I'm genuinely stumped on what could possibly have happened. Because once again, Keptsecret hasn't said anything about it. He just blocked the boy and kept it moving. And he was still partially paid. I personally think this is deriving from he was not paid the full amount, because to have somebody fly you out, pay your Ubers, pay your hotel room, pay all this stuff, and you're constantly going, I want more money, I want more money. And as soon as you don't get more money, complications begin to occur. I don't know. I personally don't know, but I definitely want to hear your opinions down below. Do you believe that Jay has validity to his claims for the sole fact that Keptsecret has been accused of this before by that trans performer? I'll link the video in this video so that y'all can get the full story behind his part. Or do you think that this was derived from money? Because at the end of the day, from the point he said, hey, I'll fly you back and pay you, he just kept going, but I want more money, but I want more money, but I want more money. Can you give me more money? Meanwhile, if it was such an inconvenience, he could have just said no. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll fly out, but you got to give me $400. How did the price go from $175 to $200 to $350? Oh, I'm going to miss a day of work. You knew you were going to miss a day of work before I agreed to fly you out here, so I don't understand. But that's just me and my personal opinion, for the sole fact that he is always in some kind of social media controversy. But I'll leave the dialogue up to y'all. The thing is how we have all the evidence available. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Lick, Bamboo, and Chance. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel. Make sure you have a happy and safe Halloween. And this week's live stream will be rescheduled, seeing as how it falls on Halloween and most of us will be busy. We will be talking about aggression-based content on this Tuesday, 10/29/24. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. He has a very above average filming. Just go to the hotel. Doesn't really. How about you just go to the hotel? That sounds interesting.